Good morning and happy Saturday again on the 15th of March, just a couple of days before St. Patrick's Day. Uh, I am Carl as your host, as usual. We've got some mouthwatering games to talk about. It's a big weekend games, including some huge games later on this weekend, including Chelsea against Arsenal, Rangers against Celtic as well, and also some other European games as well. But we are going to talk about the home nation squad announcements. So, with surprise inclusion from Thomas Tuchel's first England selection. Jordan Henderson and Marcus Rashford are back in the squad for the first time for over a year or so. And we will discuss all the other fixtures later, all the other stuff, news and stuff from the past couple of days, including around the 16 in all the European leagues as well. So today, let's get on with the fixture list for today. And now started off with in the Premier League, no 12:30 kickoff games today. So, but there is some mouthwatering games at the bottom of the table. Everton against West Ham United, Nottingham Forest go away to Ipswich Town, Manchester City at home against Brighton, Southampton against Wolverhampton. That's a bottom. There's a well against a 6 pointer. A win for Wolverhampton can hopefully solidify the place to stay in the Premier League for another season. Just about. Southampton need to win to make sure they don't break the record against for Derby's total point score, which is 11 from 2007 2008. And the 5:30 kickoff is between Bournemouth against Brentford. The two teams are challenging for European spots as well. In the Scottish Premiership, Hearts against Ross Counties at 3 o'clock today. Hibs go away to Kilmarnock as well. St Mirren go away to Motherwell, and then Aberdeen go away to pay up to Perth to face St Johnston later on today. In the Women's League Cup, the final between Chelsea against Man City is at 12:15. In the Championship, there's two 12:30 kickoff games. Millwall against Stoke City and QPR against Leeds United. Cardiff City go away to Blackburn Rovers. My co-host for this Saturday for both, my co-host for the Championship review, and is going to meet up with Michael Bowers. Sunderland are playing Coventry later today. Luton Town against Middlesbrough. Watford go away to Oxford United. Plymouth Argyle gets it's a relegation 6 point between Plymouth Argyle against Derby County. Portsmouth go away to Preston North End. Burnley face a trip down to South Wales to face Swansea City, and West Brom against Hull City. And in League One, two lunchtime kickoffs. Bolton against Stockport County, a local derby. Cambridge United against Peterborough United. Blackpool against Leighton Orient at 3 o'clock in the 3 o'clock kickoffs. Wigan Athletic go down to Charlton Athletic. Managers Huddersfield Town at home to Crawley Town. Bristol Rovers go up to Lincolnshire to face Lincoln City. Mansfield Town against Barnsley. Northampton Town against Birmingham City. Reading against Stevenage. And Rotherham United against Exeter City. Shrewsbury Town at home to Burton Albion. And Wycombe Wanderers at home to Wrexham for the battle for second place. Two games in League Two in the 12:30 kickoffs. Crewe Alexandria against Doncaster Rovers. Swindon Town against Cheltenham Town. Gillingham go up to Lancashire to face Accrington Stanley. Bradford City trying to vie for their top spot to face Tranmere Rovers. Carlisle United against Wimbledon. Fleetwood Town go away to Colchester United. Grimsby Town against Salford City. Barrow go away down to Morecambe. Newport County against Harrogate Town. Notts County against Chesterfield. And Port Vale against MK Dons. In the Scottish Championship, Doug's team Livingston go away to Adrianians. Really good week, good cup competition for Livingston in the Scottish Cup. Unfortunately, getting knocked out by St Johnston. Uh, Greece against Falkirk is one of the key games at 3 o'clock. And League Two, the Spartans away at Forfar and Peter against Edinburgh City. In the European competitions later today, Villarreal against Real Madrid at 5:30 in La Liga, and Valencia go away to Girona at 8 o'clock. Key games later in the Bundesliga. Bayern Munich go away to Union Berlin. A 5:30 kickoff between RB Leipzig and Borussia Dortmund. And in Serie A, AC Milan against Como later at 5 o'clock, and it's Torino against Empoli at 7:45 as well. And League Earn Lens against Rennes at 8, and Monaco away to Angers and Lille away at Nantes. For tomorrow's games, three games in the Premier League. A 1:30 kickoff between Arsenal against Chelsea. That's a big game we will discuss later on. Fulham against Spurs, which is another London derby as well at 1:30. And at the 7 o'clock kickoff, it is Leicester City against Manchester United. And a big game, we'll talk about the Carabao Cup final. It's Liverpool against Newcastle at 4:30. And then it's the Old Firm derby, Celtic against Rangers at 12:30. And it's also the Dundee derby between Dundee United and Dundee at 3 o'clock. And also on tomorrow as well, the Steel City derby between Sheffield Wednesday and Sheffield United tomorrow at 12:30 as well. Looking here in the rest of the other games as well, a big game for Atletico Madrid at home to Barcelona. This survived for the top spot in our Liga table. Bayer Leverkusen away Stuttgart. In 3 o'clock in Serie A, some huge games. Fiorentina against Juventus. Atalanta against AC Milan tomorrow. Roma at home to Calgary, and Lazio go away to Bologna as well. And in League 1, uh, Lyon against Le Havre, while PSG at home to Marseille tomorrow at 8:15. And just to confirm, there is no Monday night games for the Premier League because it's now hopefully coming. It's now come to the international break. So which means we will be focusing more on the other league, on the lower leagues this week. This week coming up. So that is all the leagues there for all the result fixes for this week. But let's discuss about some decisions. Let's go with the home nations squad announcement. And this was a surprise how this is, the inclusion. So I will bring the squad up in just a second. But yes, we have been told that Jordan Henderson is back in the English squad for the first time. He's the oldest member in that squad as well, which is very surprising how this is made the decision going as well. But I will get the team up shortly just to look at the confidence of the inclusions of the who's in the squad as well. So just give me a second. I'm just trying to find the link. Found it here. There you go. So let's confirm. I'll just share this up on the screen as well. So he is the England squad today for the fixtures against in the World Cup campaign. So Dean Henderson is in the squad with Jordan Petford and Aaron Ramsdale and James, and surprise inclusion for James Trafford is the only championship player in the squad. Dan Burn is a surprise inclusion at the age of 32. Uh, Reece James is back in the squad as well, along with Miles Lewis Skelly gets his first call up for the senior squad. Jared Kwanzaa is in there, and also Kyle Walker, who's in as a little bit alone at Man City. The surprise inclusion is Jordan Henderson is back in the squad in the midfield battle. Morgan Rogers gets his first call up as well. Max Roger gets his first call up for over a year, while Jared Boyd actually got to make up the forward numbers. So it's a surprise how that decision has happened, an eye-catching moment as well. You know, especially we have to start off with Jordan Henderson. It's surprising he left Liverpool last summer. It very much was a surprise call up as well. But there's no space for Adam Wharton, who made his England debut in 2023, but did play a lot of games. He's only started playing regularly since he's been missing with a thigh injury early this season. Surprisingly, we thought it was going to be he was not going to be included as well. Surprised no call up for Morgan Gibbs White, who's been playing quite well, or no Callum Hudson Odoi as well, which is very surprising as well, being omitted as well, not being part of the squad as well. So yeah, it's each as well, and also Jared Kwanzaa is also trying to get his first cap for the senior side as well. So yeah, it's interesting how the Thomas Tuchel's choosing this selection, and yeah, very surprised with Jordan Henderson being back in the midfield role. I thought his England career was over. He's surprised he's got the call up as well. Very surprised as well. So yeah, Thomas Tuchel's going somewhere different with this one, and I thought, in a way. it's surprising how he's gone. It doesn't reveal Tuchel's short-term strategy. And this is what Phil McNulty from the BBC did say. Is Tuchel all about the short term? It could because he's focusing on the title and winning World Cup. It's provoked debate because of the criticism of not selecting any of the current English managers that we do have. So surprise recalls most eye catching. Henderson missed out like in the last summer's Euros. You know, it's a shock with selection of Dan Burn as well. Very late at his stage. He would be the oldest player to win his first cap. Dan Burn since Kevin Davis made his debut against Montenegro in October 2010 at the age of 33 and 200 days. The Bussiford was the oldest since the 30-year-old Leslie Compton in 1950. Very interesting as well. So yeah, Kobe Mainoo's missed out as well. So yeah, unfortunately with the call ups, it's interesting what he's done. Listen, there's gonna be criticism of his selection, but look, let's just see realistically how England will do play, especially with Kyle Walker is 34 as well. Yeah, Chris, you can jump on as well too. I'll send you the link as well. As I said, there's no Doug today. He's busy. He's got a party, birthday party. He's going with Rebecca and Nathan as well. So I will send that link to you, mate. You can join me as when you're ready. So it'll be interesting to see what you think about the selection as well, because about the English selection as well. So yeah, we will discuss more that in depth. So we'll talk about the Wales and Scotland and both the Northern Ireland and Ireland selection as well too. We'll get to discuss that during the course of the show as well. So we should have Chris Wells joining us shortly in a second to give his take on Thomas Tuchel's first selection and also discuss for the rest of the games, including the Carabao Cup final preview as well. So, yeah, it is going to be a very, very big weekend of football, of youth fixes this weekend as well. There's going to be a lot to cover as well. I should be back on tomorrow night do the championship review last week because of with Leeds losing, so I took the time off away from that. But I should be back on tomorrow night with hopefully Michael and Annie and probably Ant as well too because all of them going to because Annie will be happy after Bristol City won against Norwich last night, so we'll discuss more in depth tomorrow night at 8 o'clock at least. So yeah. But we should have Chris joining us shortly as well. So just give some time for him to get set up and stuff, and we'll take it from there. But yeah, it's nearly coming to St. Patrick's Day on Monday as well. So yeah, it's gonna be busy. If you guys have got other stuff watching the Rugby Six Nations, England, France, and Ireland have a right to win the Six Nations, the championship. I know it's gonna be very very interesting. Games as well. And hopefully, I say good morning to Chris. Chris, good morning to you.
Good morning. Better than last week, wasn't it? With all the connection problems, so it's all sorted now. So yeah, I'm all good. How about yourself?
I'm not too bad, thank you. I'm all good as well. I was just discussing about the England's squad selection on the Thomas Tuchel's first selection. Are you surprised how Jordan Henderson and Max Rashford are back in the squad for over a year? That a surprise selection from what your opinion?
Yeah, yeah. Big surprise for me. John Henderson. It was about is there any other defensive midfielders he can pick that is back up to Declan White? Is there any good enough options out there? Because obviously Elliot Anderson missed out, who should have been in.
Yeah,
Uh, but he's more of a number 8 than a defensive midfielder for me. Uh, as much as a Liverpool fan, I've respected what John Henson's done for us. There's been a slight fall off in his career after that, and I don't think he's merited a place in England squad, but it's probably about the limited options in that role for me. Uh, Marcus Rashford, I don't know. He's only just had an impact at Aston Villa straight away. Yeah, I don't know if that's enough to be in the England squad, especially when you see the likes of the Nottingham Forest lads, Anya, Divs White.
And Hudson
Uh,
Odoi as well. I think he
yeah,
showed
Hudson
well as
Odoi,
well.
Anderson, they've performed for the whole season, and it's are they Thomas Tuchel pit or are they more the FA? Because has the FA had a bit of a say in it? Because there's some favouritism in there still from like what they did in the past,
Yeah,
and obviously Kyle Walker's in there as well. To be fair to Walker though, he's been playing at AC Milan,
he's
and
been doing all right actually since he's moved. So
there's obviously Reece James as well. Reece James hasn't played a game this season. Uh, I think the only game he did play was at Anfield, and he went off injured. Then,
yeah,
but I think that's a Thomas Tuchel pick. That one, Reece James. He knows what
yeah.
he can do.
I know. I think
I,
that I
I,
was
I
thinking
mean,
that. Yeah,
I mean, I'm not going to be up war about it at the end of the day because if it was Southgate or it's Southgate picking them, we've got a more elite course in now, and his key picked them for a reason. We need to wait and find out, don't we? And we don't know if it's going to be. It might be experimenting with some players as well. So we need to have a look at when the next international players are. If it's a continuous thing.
absolutely. Yeah, it is. Are you surprised? Like James Trafford is the only non-top flight player go in that squad, especially. I know he's done well. I know Burnley have done well, not conceded a lot of goals, but you surprised he's included in the squad. And also, it was it a huge risk? Is it a huge risk taking Miles Lewis Skelly and also making his debut? Especially he's done quite well this season for Arsenal.
I think UEL can't remember when he brought into the Arsenal team, but I think he deserves a place. I think it was the back end of last year where he brought into the Arsenal team, and he's made that place his own ever since. And James Trafford, I don't know why we need four goalkeepers. I mean, it's crazy. He's one of the goalkeepers doing magic tricks or something. I don't know, but
Mm.
uh, three goalkeepers, that's fair enough, but four, I really don't get that at all. I think that's a bit of a waste of a pick, to be honest with you. When you could have easily picked one of the players that have missed out instead of a goalkeeper, for example. Uh, but Trafford. I mean, who is it? Is it Trafford, Pickford, Henderson? Obviously, Dean
And
Henderson
Ramsdale,
and
yeah,
Ramsdale. I think Trafford does deserve to be in there, but I'm not. I don't think Ramsdale does for me because he's
I
been
think
in and
Ramsdale's
out.
had a
He's
pro.
been in
Yeah,
and out at Southampton, hasn't he? So
yeah, yeah. It's an interesting one. It really is. It really
it's
is.
always England, isn't it? Always England. There's always some pits where we're not gonna be happy with.
Yeah, it's always something, isn't it? Oh, we just lost Chris there, microphone. Chris, we'll hopefully try and get you back on as soon as possible. Hopefully, I know you just have, hopefully it's not going to be more technical issues, but yeah, we just lost Chris there. Hopefully, we should hear him shortly as well. But he's right about the four goalkeepers stuff. I think in a way, why need four goalkeepers? I thought maybe three is enough. Maybe you don't pick Ramsdale to get in this in it's because Ramsdale's had a poor season at Southampton. So Trafford's had a very good decent season regardless. So yeah. Chris, are you able to hear us?
Yeah, should be back.
All
Am
right,
I back
perfect.
now? Yeah.
Yeah, but you're right in a way. I do question the goalkeeper situation, and actually, I thought since you got it on, should we do play a bit of England selection? Who should start the best England 11? You and me can discuss this and choose a formation.
Yeah. We should do that. I say because it's gonna be interesting with the formation, isn't it? Because he can adapt.
Yeah, right.
Thomas Tuchel.
Okay, with Thomas Tuchel, we know he plays 4-3-2-1. That's been his favorite formation. We've known that, correct?
Yeah, definitely.
Okay, so let's choose the goalkeeper out of this selection. It's Pickford, isn't it? We
Yeah,
can't look beyond Pickford, so that's fair.
and he's done well for England as well, Pickford.
Yeah.
Uh, he's a bit different when he's at Everton. There's always question marks when he's at Everton, but yeah, he's better. He is better for us as a country.
Okay, that's fine. Right, let's go right back. So we've got we've got Carl Walker, we've got Tina Livramento, and we've got Miles Lewis Gay could play there, and Joel Kwanzaa. Who would you pick in that right back?
Oof. Um, See, on form and momentum, you would go Livramento,
Yeah,
but that's what I would pick. But what Thomas Tuchel will pick is probably the experience in Reece James or Kyle Walker.
yeah, I was thinking that as well. So it's between James and Walker.
Plus, also, Thomas Tuchel is on a change to a back three when we play a more difficult team.
Yeah,
That's when you'll fit both Walker and James in.
in yeah.
Oh,
Ah,
I think he would do Reece James.
yeah, do you know what? It wouldn't be surprising, but yeah, I would agree. Okay, the back two. I think I already kind of got this one. I think Matt Guay gets in, no doubt.
Yeah, definitely.
Right, the other back centre back pairing. So we've got Konza, Colwell, Dan Burn, and Joel Konza.
See, he's been speaking highly of Dan Burn, hasn't
Yeah,
he? So that probably points towards Dan Burn. But was it at the Hurls where Tonza came in? When we had them injuries or where there were some players missed out.
yeah, that's what I was thinking as well. Yeah,
Does he go for what happened at the Hurls or does he go for Dan Burn? And I think Kwanzaa's done me more of a backup.
yeah. I would say at this particular moment, I think I could see just Dan Burn getting in just because.
Yeah, I just think with his recent comments, I would go for Dan Burn.
Yeah, I think left back is easy. I think it's Miles Lewis Skelly. I think he deserves it, especially the
It's the
way.
only left back we've got.
Yeah, he's the only left
well,
back we
he's
got.
not a left back. He's actually a number 8, but he can do a job
He will
at
do a
left back.
job. Yeah. All right. So we've chosen the goalkeeper in the back four. Right, the three. We already know two of them's going in.
Yeah,
James.
Weiss and Burnham, isn't it?
Yeah. Right. That's fine. So it's going to be the question: who plays in the center? In the center.
Ooh, it's a hard one, isn't it?
It is. Yeah.
Because again, you would, in terms of form and momentum, you would go more than Rodgers, but uh, Thomas Tuchel, it's obviously I think it's between Palmer and Foden.
Yeah. But I think Palmer's more will be more up front behind Kane,
Yeah, I think so.
and same with Foden as
I'm plus
well.
Phil Foden. I think he might play Foden on the wing.
Yeah, because I'm just looking here because you got the two the back the two attacking, and then you got Kane. So we know Kane's gonna be up front, so let's just get that one done. So yeah,
Yeah, Kane's definitely up front.
yeah. So it's just the three. Yeah, it's a two. It's like the two wingers, attacking. So yeah,
I think Palmer will play in the 10.
yeah, I agree as well. The last place.
I think Foden somehow still gets in.
Right. Okay. So we got nearly there. It's just that it's that midfielder. It's that midfielder issue now. It's the question one. It's between Henderson.
Just not Jordan Henderson, please.
Yeah, I know. I'm trying not to avoid it. It's between Henderson and Jones. And
Oh
the
yeah,
way,
Jones is a does shout. I say yeah,
yeah, I would put
because
Jones.
Jones, some Liverpool fans still not that keen on Curtis Jones, but I think he's been better this season since
Yeah,
Scott came in. He's made him better. Watchards, I think Wadsworth is more of a 10 than a 8.
Eight. Yeah,
Curtis Jones can do a job in the 8, so I'll door Curtis.
yeah, I would as well. So that's our selection there. So that's what we would if we play it in 4-3-2-1. And listen, because it's the qualifying games is against. Well, do you know what? I know we always get easy draw for some obvious reasons, and I just would say so. Let me just get the teams that we're playing again, just to be confirmed. Because yeah, so because we're playing against Albania and Latvia, we're not playing in the 4-3-2-1 be better formation.
Yeah, and I think we'll know who's Thomas Tuchel needs to pick after the first game.
Yeah, I do agree as well.
Also, you still need the likes of Saka and Trent to come back from injuries.
Yeah, no, that's gonna be another conundrum as well with that when they do come back. So, yeah, I think out of this what you said, I think we both agree that could be the first selection against Alp. Yeah, I would agree. So I'm going to confirm it because I just think that that's going to be the team. And yeah, so myself and Chris, we've made a decision on the selection. So we got Pickford in goal, and actually we got Ant as well to join us. Good morning, Ant.
Good morning, mate. How are you doing?
Yeah, good. Thanks. Are you getting ready for the game today at commentary? You're going to be the Sunderland end.
I am. I'm going with Michael. Looking forward to it. It should be a good game. Hopefully, with a Sunderland win.
Absolutely. Can I just ask you about this English squad? So me and Chris just did some pickings, and what do you think if that will be Tuchel's first squad against Albania? Because I just can't see if he's going to pick a bit of favoritism. But is this what the squad would you go for in this formation?
I would, but I don't think he will because he's made his career off three at the back with wing backs, and uh, I think he's more likely to go three at the back and then probably put Reece James as a right wing back. Maybe push Lewis Skelly slightly further forward, as well as a left wing back.
Okay, then. Well, so we chosen one in this formation as a 4-3-2-1. Well, let's try to do something different instead, and let's see if we could try to do a probably 3-4-3, more likely.
Yeah, I think so, in my opinion.
All right, then. Right, let's go to 3-4-3. You, me, and Chris could discuss this and see where we go from here again because it's going to be interesting how we pick. So if we play three at the back, so let's go for it here. The only 3-4-3 we could do is play 3-4-3 or 3-4-1-2 or even I don't know a 3-3-1, but I don't think we'll play it all 3-5-2.
I think it'd be 3-4-3, like you said, most likely.
All right then, okay. So for 3-4-3, we all agree Pickford's in goal, correct? As
Yeah.
usual, yeah. Right, this back three. So Guerre is gonna be in there, so that's no doubt. We know that. It's the back three. It's the other thing. Would you put Dan Burn in?
I think the way that Tuchel set up historically, I wouldn't be surprised if he goes Colwill left centre back. And I don't think this is the best option, but this is where I think he'll go. I think Colwill left centre back and Walker right centre back because I don't see any other reason why he's in the squad other
Yeah,
than to play as that centre back in a back three.
Chris, you agree with that?
Yeah, I agree. Kyle Walker appeared in the back three at World Cup 2018, was it?
Yeah,
And Levi Corwell, maybe back three helps Levi Corwell defensively because he's not been good in the back four.
no,
When I saw him at Chelsea, obviously it all depends who's at right wing back and left wing back as well.
yeah. Well, do you know the right wing back? I would play Reece James because it's what we see he's gonna choose. So
Yeah, it has to be, doesn't it?
yeah, midfield pairing is easy. We know that. We've both agreed. We all agree with that one. Better than
Yeah.
Rice. You can't swap
Yep.
that. The left wing back, I think it's going to be Lewis Skelly because he's the only recognised that can play that role. So
Yeah. Unless he tries Anthony Gordon there, who has played there before, but I don't think he
yeah,
will.
I don't. Yeah, I know. I thought that as well too. Right up front.
Obviously, if Saka was fit, Saka appeared started his Arsenal career yeah, wing back as well.
Yeah, yeah, that's true. So Kane's in there. So it's the wide. It's up the over front three.
I know what I would go for is very different for what he would go for. Because if you're asking me, I'll go for Morgan Rogers and Jared Bowen, but I don't see him doing that at all. I think it'll
Yeah,
be Foden and probably Palmer.
yeah, yeah. So that's what our 3-4-3 will look at if we play. It's actually not a bad selection because yes, Walker has got experience playing in the back three. Colwell's better with that than in the back four. You know, you got Bell and Rice in the midfield, which leads to that, but Reece James on the right, Lewis Skelly on the left. You got Ford and K Palmer up front, which is probably another strong pick as well. So I think we've done some good selections of choosing what would be if they played in the 4-3-2-1 and a 3-4-3.
Yeah.
Yeah, I
You,
agree with that. Yeah.
do you think though, for these games coming up, because we've gone for probably the best possible, would it surprise you if he goes for some sort of names that you wouldn't quite think of because the opposition's not the highest level?
Chris, you want to answer that one? Because, yeah.
Well, he spoke. Well, we didn't expect Dan Burn to be called up, did we?
No.
To the England squad, and he spoke highly of him. So we probably may see him start. Uh, it's unpredictable, isn't it? Because we don't know who he's gonna pick, and because it's all dud or Stetson, and we all picked the two lineups that we picked. Just watch him do the complete opposite, and all of a sudden, but it's a hard one to predict, isn't it? So, but I think some of the names we have picked has probably done be in there with Dan Burn. Unless unless he's fooling everyone by giving Dan Burn praise and he doesn't play him. Because we all know Southgate's done that in the past and he
Yeah.
hasn't given players a chance. So we'll wait and see.
Mm. Yeah, I kind of echo what Chris was saying actually completely. It depends on your selection pick. You don't pick him, you don't pick them, and you're not going to play them. It's the thing. I think it's the same with Morgan Rogers' situation. You know, to try hopefully he can get in the squad into the starting 11. It won't be against Albania, probably against Latvia, just to rest the key, some of the key players and give everyone a chance. So, you know, it's going to be how the next first two games is going to be, how we play, what if we're going to be changing formations during the game and even during the games that we play. So it's going to be how Tuchel's going to experiment completely, and especially with not having certain players that's going well. And one player thought it would have been in would have been Adrian Gomez, what he's done at Lille, but I'm a bit surprised that he's not in. And I think can he get into the squad before next summer? It's going to be hard to tell. Tuchel's going to have a big choice to pick, especially depends on the squad expansion as well because we're now going to be, but it's going to be interesting to see how much what we do if we. I can't see us taking four goalkeepers.
Yeah.
That's a given. We're not going to take four goalkeepers to the World Cup next summer, but I expect it's going to be an extra midfielder or an extra attacker that will make up the number.
I also think we won't take Jordan Henderson, so that's another midfield option there because he's not starting for Ajax as it is. Like him getting involved in the squad, I think is really strange, but I can't see that being a long term thing either way. So, Morgan Gibbs White, he's one that I feel like he's probably frustrated he's not in the squad. But then you
Yeah,
look who's ahead of him in those attacking midfield roles of like Cole Palmer,
Cole Palmer's
Morgan.
not scored in what over 8-9 games now, which
I
is
know,
mad.
but that's such a small sample size. When you look over the course of a season, I think Cole Palmer's incredible. You look Jude Bellingham probably in that attacking role. Morgan Rogers is one of my favourite England players. So I feel like in that role, it's so competitive. But you know what's funny? A few years ago, we were all having this conversation of is it going to be Madison or is it going to be Grealish who breaks through as that mainstay for
Yeah,
England for the next few years? Neither of them were even in contention for the squad.
yeah. No, that's good as well. I know we've always had that debate, especially with Madison's form and the injuries as well. It's is he gonna get back in? Who's he gonna get back in ahead of? That's the different question. Especially what with the Rashford situation when Ruben Amorim said that he would have his goalkeeper coach play more than Rashford up front. I'm like, wow, okay, so yeah, he's not scored goals at Aston Villa, but he's been coupled with assists. Is he in the right mentality to be back playing in these two games this week coming up? So that's a huge debate we'll discuss about during the course.
Hmm. But he looks, every time I've watched him, and I haven't watched him a huge amount of Villa, he looks, like that young player that first broke through at United with that point
Yeah.
and prove, just energy all over the place. Because when you've watched United over the last couple of years, I've always thought Rashford just looks a little bit like there's the weight of the world on his shoulders, and like he's not enjoying playing football. It's just pressure after pressure after pressure, and it's like I think that comes with the territory of playing at Man United when you're not doing well. But I also think he gets criticised for stuff that other players don't. It's like he went for a few drinks out in Manchester on his birthday. Next day, it was mainstream news that Rashford was out getting drunk. That you see other players constantly, as they should be able to, by the way, going out for drinks uh, and having their social life outside of football. But he seems to be the target, and he's never allowed to just be a normal bloke.
Yeah, yeah, and it's it's what I agree. Oh, I agree what you said. It's just that can you find that person that when he came through 16, 17 when he made his first debut and I think he scored I think he scored like 2 goals in that first game. Was the European competition. He was under Louis Van Gaal, and it just shows the lack of where is that player gone. When Thomas Tuchel bigged him up about 5 years ago, he said but when he was at PSG, Thomas Tuchel about Marcus Rashford being a big impact player. It just shows that it's just been gone since probably about 2 years ago we seen this dip, and I was watching the other week, and Ray Rooney spoke to him because he was taking his son Kai and Kit to because they're both a youth team. He saw Rashford training in front of the parents, and Rooney was brutally honest and said, "You need to leave the club because it's not helping you. What's the change? So it just showed that Rooney had to play influence. Say you need to leave because you're not going to get your squad because you're going to, with you sitting on what nearly 350 grand a week, 350 grand a week. What's the point? And especially you're not part of the future when you've been at the club since a young player. I just think in a way, if Villa do pay £40 million for him, the buyout clause anyway, it's going to be who's can he find his form back at another club because he wanted to go to Barcelona and that didn't happen because of the Barcelona's financial situation. So I just think Rashford has got something to prove, to all of us if he's still good for the English squad to play alongside Kane, but
Mm.
I just don't see him getting in the start 11 on at this time, at this moment, over the other players such as Foden and Palmer. Yes, Palmer's had a bit of a poor second half of the season because he's not scored much goals, but Palmer still gets ahead of him.
No, I completely agree, and I'd put Jared Bowen along with a fair few other players ahead of him at the moment. It's one of those. It's like he got in the England squad when he did, as early as he did, because he was that exciting youngster who was unpredictable and you didn't know what he was going to do, and like he could get goals out of nothing. And when he was at his best, when he was running at opposition with space in front of him, like he was fantastic. But we haven't seen that for a long time from him, and he's playing with a chip on his shoulder now at Villa, uh, and it's very hard to do that for a sustained period of time. I feel like it's easier to go in at Villa now with a chip on your shoulder on a 6 month loan than it is to continue that for a long term.
Mm, mm. Chris,
He's he's a weird one, isn't he, Rashford? He's one of them players who turns up when he's playing for a youth contract. And I've seen it before at Manchester United. He hasn't turned up for 1 or 2 years, and when his contract's about to expire, he ends up turning up. I can't remember which season it was. I think it might have been Ten Hag's first season where he had quite a good goal output, and I think he ended up there in the youth contract. I think, and but for me, I don't think he deserves to be in the squad. For me, Rashford, he needs to work harder. For me, I agree with Ruben Amorim's comments. I'm afraid on him.
Yeah, no.
And Ruben Amorim has keen to see Rashford in training, not putting the effort in. And I have my doubts on him at Aston Villa as well. Yeah, he may start well at Aston Villa, but we might be here in 1 year, 2 years time if he has signed permanently with Aston Villa that he's been putting stinting performances in, and I'll probably be here in the comments or on the stream 1 or 2 years time saying, "I told you so." But we'll wait and see.
We'll wait and see indeed. Thank you, Ant, for joining us. Hopefully, we don't know if you'll be back on or not, but thank you for joining us. But Chris, let's talk about the Scotland squad actually briefly. 2 debuts for 18-year-olds, Lennon Miller and my Jambos player of the year at the moment, James Wilson. Steve Clark's only got 1 game against Greece, but Chris, are you surprised that? Well, you're not surprised that Steve Clark has said he said in his press conference earlier this week that he's 75% sure he's not going to renew his contract after the next World Cup. Listen, we know Scotland got to the Euros the last 2 attempts. Do you think he's taking this Scotland team as far as he can?
Uh, I don't know what some Scotland fans expect, because qualifying for the tournaments should be Scotland's aim for me, and they even beat the hooping champions, didn't they, Spain?
Yeah.
And I remember we were all saying, "Oh, that's Spain not winning the Euros then if they lost to Scotland," and he still went on to win the Euros. So this shows that sometimes qualifying games don't matter for the top teams. But yeah, I am a bit surprised. I mean, who can they get to replace Steve Clark and to do the better job? I would have said David Moyes if he was available, but he's done back to Everton. And I just think I'm trying to think of the options who's starting can go for.
I
On the
don't.
top.
It's a hard one because I just don't know at this moment. And listen, I'm looking at this. I'm looking at all the Scottish managers that I've known, because for me at the moment, I just worry about the depth of the Scotland. The Scotland manager selection, just similar to England's. But I think with what's going on in Scottish football this past season, we've lost. And I think I'm going to count this one. We've lost quite a good selection as well, because at the start we had Craig Levine, who was previous range manager. He got sacked early this season. Stephen Naismith was the same. Let's see, Stuart Ketwell resigned. And there's not a huge selection in for the who can manage Scotland. Barry Ferguson is the latest one who's on an interim contract at Rangers. So I just don't know who could manage Scotland. The only thing I can think of is Derek McInnes, who's done a decent job at Kilmarnock. That's the only name I can think of.
Yeah, I'm struggling because Barry Ferguson, let's be real. I mean, fair play to him for the job he's done so far, but can he do that permanently in a permanent job? Because we've seen it before where interim managers have had an impact and then they get a job permanently and it doesn't work out. And like you said there, I'm looking at the Scottish managers names, their resumes and everything. Is that a better replacement than Steve Clark? Not for me.
Yeah, it's questionable because I think Barry Ferguson's relationship with the Scottish FA is been always been it's been fractured after they don't even remember a long time ago. We were quite young. I think there was all his behaviour incidents. He got stripped of the captaincy, and then when he put all those verbal signs up on his face, when the cameras were picturing him, I think he's had a fractured relationship with the Scottish FA. So I don't know if he could even they can bridge that relationship.
Yeah, it's just surprising why Steve Card hasn't really renewed. To be honest with you, uh,
Yeah,
but you can say at the same time. I mean, how long has he been at Scotland now?
since so I think he's been there now. I think it's not nearly 10 years. It's been less than that. I do know that for a fact. I think Steve Clark's been there since 2019. So yeah,
So he's been there a few years. So it maybe wants a different challenge, and I can only put it down to that on why he's not renewing
yeah,
because everyone can won their ship. They sailed the ship at some point,
yeah.
and but I I'll be I'll be quite worried as a starting fan, yeah, in terms of replacement.
I would as well, and hopefully when Doug comes back on next weekend, I think I'll discuss that more with him because I think Doug usually goes to the home games now at Hampden, so he's gonna go against Greece this week with his friend Amy. So I do know that he's gonna go to the game anyway. But I can talk to you about the selection of the Scotland team. I'm really happy for James Wilson. As a Hearts fan, he's done quite well this season. And Chris, as an 18-year-old, he Hearts have always had good academy players. That's been a good thing. And James Wilson is dealing with that despite Hearts. He's been playing with despite Hearts' poor start to the season. He's been a rise for him over the last 18 months. I've been watching him. He's only turned 18 this week as well. So but as I said, he made his this season. That's where he made his name. He's made nearly 25 appearances this season. So I think it's a bit of a turn. It's good for him and also for Lennon Miller, who did realize he got into the squad. So 18-year-olds coming in. But as I said, Chris, you should watch James Wilson on YouTube. He's quite good. He's good at his link up play as well. But he's had a very good season. He's had a very good season. I'm not gonna
I
lie.
think I saw him in your derby game against Hibs, and I think his link up, yeah, like you said, his link up yeah is good. Uh, 18 years old, did you say he is? I
Yeah,
mean, I bet, to be fair though, that's what Scotland have been good at in previous times, putting them through these non-talented players through, and it'd be interesting. It's gonna be interesting summer for Hearts to try and keep hold of him. Uh,
it
there'll be a
will
few
be.
clubs after him.
Yeah, he did sign a new contract just not too long ago. So I think it's gonna be interesting how Hearts
But
can do, especially the upturn in form before we lost to Hibs in the end of derby. He's been on the rise, so it'd be interesting to see where, if Hearts can keep him long term. But it's going to be hard, especially the quality of him as a youngster, as an 18-year-old.
they'll, I think they'll maybe keep him for next season, and if he smashes it, then I think it'll be the writing will be on the wall, and a big club might snatch him up. And well, a bigger club might snatch him up. Maybe like a Celtic or Rangers might try and do like a Bayern Munich and the Bundesliga, tap off the best players. But we'll wait and see. We'll wait and see. He's started on career yet, hasn't he? So
Yeah, no, absolutely as well, absolutely as well. It is what interesting, Chris, because I'm just looking at the Welsh squad, and I'm just trying to see what their selection was, and I'm just going to see because I know they have named they have named the teenager from Kilmarnock, Kai Andrews, who's only had 8 appearances. No, he's played for Coventry and Motherwell. He's only made 8 senior appearances for Coventry Motherwell. Sorry, he's the only uncapped player. There's no Aaron Ramsey. He's missed out with an injury as well. So listen, we all expected Ramsey to return to the squad for the first time since last September, but he got injured recently against the 2-1 defeat against Luton Town. There's no Ethan Ampadu and Harry Wilson. They're out due to injury. Wes Burns and Reece Norrington Davis are out as well. So only coming back from injury. So well selection just seen here that Danny Ward, Cal Dallo, and Andy Davis are the goalkeepers. Ben Davis and Joe Rundon are the two senior players, along with Chris Mepham and Nico Williams in the midfield. Joe Allen is back in the squad as well with Sober Thomas, David Brooks with Tom Lawrence, and then keeping him up front with Brennan Johnston, Dan James, Lily Cullen, Nathan Broadhead, and Mark Harris, and Lewis Kumas and Rabbi Matondo. Listen, Wales have got some huge games this week coming up, Chris, as well against Kazakhstan and North Macedonia. Is this an easy 3 points for them to 6 points for them to start the World Cup campaign quite well?
Yeah, I think so. I think North Macedonia is probably more of the difficult game than Tajikistan. I do watch both Tajikistan and North Macedonia. I think Wales. It won't be like a flattening on Tajikistan. It'd be more like a 2-0, 3-0, something like that. North Macedonia we did the more for tests, but then I think Wales should come through that as well. I don't know about you, but I think Wales have thrived without Gareth Bale.
Yeah, I think the
Because
yeah,
everyone makes a short saying the Gareth Bale FC. You see how they do without Gareth Bale, and I wasn't shocked by them thriving without Gareth Bale
yeah, I
because
would,
you play more as a team, and we've seen it in club football with PSG without the E-Dods in the dressing room as well.
yeah,
So it can
no,
happen.
yeah, I do agree as well. I think they have thrived without him. Actually, for the fact that we didn't know how huge impact would be missing when he retired. But I think they've done well on the Craig Bellman. They really have done. Going briefly into Northern Ireland, Colin Bradley and Daniel Bauer will miss Scotland's Northern Ireland's friendlies against Switzerland, Sweden. Yeah, again, Chris, big miss for Connor Bradley, who's done well decent at Liverpool this season, especially, Bradley is out with an injury at the moment. But Northern Ireland, they've got in the back, there's no Johnny Evans because he's not in. But just look at here the squad of the selection as well. The only thing I think the big, you know, I thought would have done, but I looking at the squad here, just to put it on the screen. Again, it's a bit of a there's no big names for Northern Ireland as much now because other than Joe Savo, I probably say is one of them, along with Trey Hume, who's done well at Sunderland this season, and Aaron Terrell at Bolton. But again, not much squad selection for Michael O'Neill.
Yeah, I think there's some obviously it's like a mixture, isn't it? Like a mixture of young players and a mixture of well-known names in there, especially if you're an EFL fan as well. The likes of George Saville and all that. And I don't, I forgot who Northern Ireland have got in terms of like,
Switzerland and Sweden in the friendlies. So
oh dear. Well, they're friendly, so it might actually go their way. But if it was actual meaningful meaningful games to them, then you would fancy Sweden and Switzerland with the squads they've got to obviously beat Northern Ireland, just to say it nicely.
yeah, no, I agree as well. And briefly to finish off, Republic Ireland, Sinclair Armstrong's been recalled to the squad against Bulgaria this month. Hamagas have also included on Cat recorded Vata, who's done well at Watford, and James Abker as well as Jim Dunn from the QPI's in the squad. There's no recall for Garen Banzu, who's loaned at Stanley Liège from Southampton to discover his best form after he kills his sidelined for 10 months. We've seen Adam Eda's back in the squad with Ronnie Brady alongside Jake O'Brien. They're back from their injuries as well, but there's no place for Seamus Coleman as well. They've only got one game, Chris, against Bulgaria in the Nations League. Looking at the squad here, what do you think of that, especially? it's a bit of a good quality in the back with Brian and Matt Doherty along with Jimmy Dunn. But up front, can Evan Ferguson rediscover his form because he's had a bit of a tough start, since he joined West Ham from Brighton earlier this season?
It'd be interesting. I think Graham Potter's worked with Ferguson, hasn't he, at Brighton,
Yeah,
and that's probably why it made sense for the loan move. And I think they haven't got bad forwards there at Ireland. Adamida, who does well, who's
yeah,
done well in the Scottish League
yeah.
for
Troy
Celtic.
Barrett as well. He's done well since he's moved to Holland to Alkmaar. Yeah.
But some of the Republic of Ireland fans don't not that keen on their new monitor at all.
No, there haven't been. There's been questions about that, the way he's been playing, and it's a question of Republic Island as well. Can they even qualify for the World Cup? That's the next step because they're not qualified for a tournament not since 2020. I'm going to say 2012 at this latest at this moment because I don't think 2016 they got closer because they missed out. So
Yeah, I think it was 2012
yeah,
when
the
they got.
Euros, yeah,
But yeah, I do watch Republic of Ireland games. Obviously, we've seen them against Suds, of course,
yeah.
and they look quite poor for me.
Very poor. Yeah, very poor. I just don't know how they can do well with that one. I really don't, and I just do worry for them in the future if they can get the players what they want, especially. So, yeah, time will tell. Time will tell, Chris. Chris, let's get onto the European stuff in the Champions League. Let's talk about your boys, Liverpool. You lost to them to PSG on penalties after PSG equalised in the second leg 1-0 through Dembele's goal. Was PSG the right team to go through? The more the stronger team to go through?
Yeah, all the 2 years they were definitely the better team to go through. The first year, we were lucky. I will admit that. We were lucky, but you could say in the second year, Liverpool had more chances than the first year in that second half of the second year before extra time. So you could say PSG had that bit of a luck as well, with the goal being disallowed as well. And but yeah, once it went to extra time, I just knew the writing was on the wall for Liverpool. Just looked burnt out in extra time, and I even knew in extra time, even if it does the penalties, PSG will probably have the advantage on penalties as well.
Mm.
Because especially with the substitutions as well, which were quite
Ramos
questionable
came
for
on at the right time. Jose Ramos came on at the right time actually to score that penalty.
right time for PSG.
Yeah,
The one time for Liverpool to miss subs because we took some of the good penalty takers off, and but for me PSG, I'm not comparing them. Better team went through. Well done to them. And it was an Enrique masterclass where tactical masterclass where you know what it's not like he sat back. He just hit us in the counter really in the second yard.
yeah. No, I agree. And I was saying this to Andrew Rogers in group chat with Doug and Andrew Walker about I still call PSG's the bling bling club, even though the squad has changed. It's now a more hungry dog squad with the young players. I'll still call it until they win the Champions League. I think in our lifetime, Chris, PSG will win the Champions League, but it depends what's going to happen. Until they get rid of that the bling bling tag off, which they have done in the league. Because the only team in Europe that have got a beaten record in League Earn in the league this season, and I just think if they can get through if they can Bayern Munich can if they get through without Bayern Munich winning or Real Madrid, who I think the only two teams can win it along with Barcelona. It's just a question of when it's going to happen. I think they just need a strike up front, because Colomanani's not worked out quite well. They need a strike up front. If it's an Isaac, that could be a difference maker for PSG if they win the Champions League over the next 5 years.
Yeah, I mean PSG had a technical striker, then yeah, Liverpool would be definitely out on after that, and it wouldn't have, done to extra time or penalties. And obviously, even the goal PSG scored at Anfield, it was very lucky, let's be real. I mean, Tanate was sliding in, and it came off him, and then was there for a free tapping. But I think PSG, they're playing with freedom, man. They're playing with freedom under Enrique. Is that enough to win the Champions League? I'm not sure.
No, I don't at this moment. No.
I'm not sure. And also PSG, like I said, got that tad over them where, well, I always told them the bridesmaids in the Champions League, where
Bridesmaids, bling bling. Yeah, yeah.
uh, bottle jobs is another word as well. We all remember that Barcelona comeback against PSG. That was a proper bottle job from PSG.
That is so true. I remember that the return, the comeback completely. Chris, let's go into another game. The controversial ended in the Madrid derby where Julio Alvarez spot kick was ruled out for a double touch in the penalty shot against Real Madrid after Real Madrid did equalise under Conor Gallagher in the first in 30 seconds. Are you surprised that there was not even a minimal contact and it should have been retaken in the first place if you knew this?
Yeah, I was shocked that it wasn't retaken for me. I wouldn't really disavow it, and I thought, I thought it was in the laws and the rules where you have to retake it, even if you stored it, and that would have been the sensible thing to do. And even if the Wilmington keeper saved the retaking penalty, then it's all fair. It'll be more fair for me. Would it really matter in terms if it still counted? Would Wilmington still have won on penalties? I
It
think
wasn't
so.
intentional. It was, but
Yeah,
it
it
was
wasn't.
a slip.
It's where football is now, where even if it's a double tap by accident, what what you're supposed to do. I've seen them penalties where penalty takers have double tapped it and the keeper saved it. So I just don't get it at all. And I don't think it would have changed the outcome for me. I still think Real Madrid, if Alvarez penalty did count, Real Madrid would still be winning on penalties.
Mm.
But obviously, it's all if buts and maybes, isn't it?
It
So
is. It is. I did fancy Atletico Madrid could do something. I really did. I have been told that UEFA, FIFA, and IFAB are looking into this and maybe consider changing the rules because there is no option to retake it. For the current rules, there's no option to retake it if you double tapped it, if you've double kicked. So I think there may be a change in this law at some sooner than later now because
which is which is strange because in normal time you have to retake it because of VAR. Because of VAR, we'll see if it's double tapped it or not. And yeah, it's just strange, but I think they're the rules. They are separate rules in normal time and penalty shootouts. And but for me, it still wouldn't change the outcome. Juventus should start his penalty and do his job, and
yeah.
maybe Oblak should have saved his penalty. Rudiger's penalty where
I
he should
know
have.
he had it there. I was surprised Obat did not save that penalty. He saved it, but he should have pushed it away and not let you know. I was surprised he let Rudiger, who actually scored against Man City in the last 60, the in the playoff, and somehow it's just surprising how you know Obat had an opportunity to keep Atletico in the game, and somehow he parried it into the net.
And he's support, and that's one of the best. Well, touted as one of the best goalkeepers in the world. Not for me personally. I think he's very weighted. I will give him that, but
Obat's been there for a long time. I'm surprised he's never been to. He's not moved abroad, moved somewhere to around England or Germany yet.
I remember Neuer. I think Neuer made a mistake. I think it was a couple of seasons ago
Yeah,
against Real Madrid as well, where he got punished and Real Madrid ended up done through.
yeah.
It's that thing, isn't it? I think they've been at the club at a long time. They can sometimes get either found out or stale or might debt to them. They won the shipping door for that team.
Yeah, I know. He's been there since 2014. He's been there for over 10 years now. So it's a bit surprising how, because I think he got his last contract extension, I'm going to say 2022. Yeah, he's got under 3 years left with his current contract. So yeah, it's a bit surprising how that game ended. And now, of the controversy, it's now that they now have to look at this rule again and say, does it does it needs to they need to show if they double tap kicked it by is it intentional. If it's not, it's not, because I remember just recently, just it's happened just recently, not too long ago, but later 2 years ago, same thing happened in Scotland actually, Grace. I think it was Boyle Mayotsky. He took a late pause, he had part of a double touch and he netted two to draw, but the goal was allowed to stand after the VAR reviewed it. So yeah, I think there needs to be some clarification on that one.
Yeah, definitely. And also, Atletico Madrid can also have themselves a PM as well, because they had the chances in that second half against Real Madrid, especially after they got up to the perfect start as well. 30 seconds in,
Yeah,
they take the lead straight away, and that's the perfect start. That is the perfect start you need then to Real Madrid, and it puts Real Madrid on the back foot to try and defend that and take the extra time and penalties, which Real Madrid did,
yeah,
and Real Madrid just find a way to win. Is what they do.
yeah. They do. They absolutely do. They find a way to win, and that's why I said I wouldn't be surprised. I said they're going to retain it because they find a way to win it. And Ancelotti's under a lot of pressure because if they don't win the Champions League, I think he's gone this summer. That's no doubt about
Yeah,
it.
he has to win it.
Yeah, absolutely does. Briefly, let's talk about the other results. Big win for Villa, Chris, against Club Brugge, winning 3-0. Not surprised, especially at Marco Asensio's scored two goals, another goal, getting two goals again. It was not surprised, briefly, on Villa, briefly.
Yeah, the job was done in the first yard, and Aston Villa just wanted to complete the job in the second yard, and makes it a very interesting quarter final between two good knockout managers, Enrique and Emery. Emery then his old club, PSG as well. Emery knows how to basically debunt on his old clubs. He's done it against Arsenal in the league,
Yeah.
and I would slightly favour PSG in that one just because of the Champions League experience, but you can't rule out Unai Emery.
No, you can't. You can't rule it out as well. PSV, they did get a 2-2 draw against Arsenal, but they lost 9-3 on aggregate. Do you know what the best thing about the PSV fans, Chris? The day before the game, they went to watch Wimbledon in Tuesday night. And then they actually, they thought, well, this has got nothing to do. It's good to see a UPT go to a lower league team watching them the night before the Champions League against Arsenal.
I didn't know that, to be fair. So,
Yeah,
but
yeah.
fair play to them. Each to their own, and
They
I
made it
think
happen.
I think that's good though. That is good because I think PSV they will obviously have more revenue than your league teams, especially like Wimbledon as well, who are in League
Yeah,
Two, Dutch League, hooping football revenue added to that as well for
true.
PSV. So yeah, but great to see, and I think PSV they weren't really favoured against Arsenal even from
No.
the first year. Before the first year, everyone expected Arsenal to go through despite Arsenal's issues.
Yeah, no, I agree as well.
And
Briefly,
PSV they got better things as well in terms of the Dutch
yeah,
league as well. Try
yeah,
and sort themselves out in that title race.
yeah. So go to finish just briefly. So Borussia Dortmund won against Lille 2-1, and they won 3-2 in aggregate. Benfica lost 3-1 against Barcelona, aggregate 4-1. Bayern Munich winning 2-0 at Leverkusen, aggregate 5-1, and Inter Milan against Feyenoord, they won 2-1. Inter Milan go through on 4 goals to 1 aggregate. Chris, briefly, I'm going to ask you this: is it going to be Rafinha against Salah for the Ballon d'Or this year?
I don't think. I don't think Salah will win it. For me, because and it's nothing to do with the AFCON or any of that. I think Salah needed to probably win the Champions League for me, because I think you judge on hooping competitions in terms of winning the Ballon d'Or, like UEFA, whether it's who holds, like that's probably why Rodri won it, because he did well at the who holds for Spain, and obviously had success with Man City as well. Salah's probably obviously Salah's going to win the Premier League with Liverpool, potentially the Carabao Cup on Sunday, potentially, but for I think the Ballon d'Or, it always goes to someone who is either from the country in Spain or plays for the Spanish club, like Real Madrid, like Luka Modric won it when he played for Real Madrid. It's always going to be either you need a club or you have to play for Spain, or you need to do something like win the Premier League, win the Champions League. I don't think AFCON will come into it in terms of winning Ballon d'Or for me. But we never know what Egypt are going to do in AFCON, to be fair, because they're still up there, Egypt,
Yeah,
in terms of one of the favourites to win that.
they are.
But they're definitely not the favourites to win it, if you know what I mean. And Salah can do a Messi for Argentina, where he can just trot his team to the trophy, basically.
Mm, yeah.
But if Rafinha's in the conversation, then Lamine Yamal has to be in the conversation then.
That's true. I agree with that as well. I think you look at what Rafinha went through, under Xavi, he was not favoured, and then Hansi Flick's now played him on a bit more on the wings, and he's been on fire. And Rafinha will be the first Leeds United player to win the Ballon d'Or. And that
It's
happens, it'd be amazing. For how the hell we've developed this player into the way he is now.
it's done be we all know it's done be Real Madrid or Barcelona player who's probably done to win it. Depends who wins the Champions League out of both of them. If both of them, I mean that would be ideal, wouldn't it? The Real Madrid
Yeah, the
Barcelona
El
final,
Clasico final, bloody hell, in the Champions League.
the first Champions League El Clasico final potentially.
Yeah, God, I was thinking about that as well. Actually, yeah, I think
Uh,
listen,
but I don't. I think Barcelona don't have. Well, it might be different. I think Barcelona will play Inter in the semi-finals, and I think that will be very tough for Barcelona to break Inter Milan down. For me,
yeah, it would be. It would be interesting as well. Let's go briefly in the Europa League, Chris, on the British clubs. Man United finally got a win against Real Sociedad, winning 5-2 aggregate. Bruno Fernandes scored a hat trick in the game as well. Was that a bit of a better performance for Ruben Amorim and the Old Trafford faithful?
better performance from Manchester United. I still don't think they'll win the competition. That the harder you do, the longer you do in the tournament, you can face more tougher tests. So obviously that this is not a dual threat for me. Uh, Bruno Fernandes, I will give him this though. He's the only one that stepped up for Manchester United and tried to them by the round. Tried to them for me.
Yeah,
Unlike Martin Odegaard at Arsenal, Fernandes actually turns up
that's
for
true.
Manchester United. So I know who I'm taking in terms of out of them two.
Mhm.
And as much as I don't like Bruno Fernandes.
No, same. But at this moment, you take over him than the Odegaard, would you?
Yeah, definitely Odegaard. And can you rely on Bruno though for the rest of the tournament? Probably not. Probably not
No.
for me. I think Bilbao are a far better team than Manchester United. With
Yeah,
the players they've got at the helm. You got Lazio, you got Lyon as well.
yeah, true.
And obviously we'll probably get on Spurs probably in the next one. But I just don't see either in this team still winning it, in my opinion.
No, I don't. I don't as well too. Actually, I really don't. Going on to Spurs, they've overturned from a 1-0 deficit against AC Milan to win 3-1 on Thursday night. A huge. It was a huge. It's huge for Wilson of day because he's been out injured, but he got 2 goals in the game. it was more better Spurs performance than they did in the first leg.
Yeah, definitely. And I think that obviously I was on the show last week, and I said when we were talking about the first set defeat, I said it was an own goal. It was an own goal for God's sake, and Spurs can easily turn that around. Alkmaar didn't look particularly good in that first set either. So I actually had more confidence in Spurs than Manchester United, and imagine making that up, especially with the tad Spurs have got, all Spursy and all that.
Yeah,
So it's I think it's good for it'd be good for the Premier League, won't it, to try and see if Spurs and United how far they can make it far in the tournament. Obviously Champions League as well.
yeah,
Chelsea, obviously we get into conference with Chelsea. They should be making it far as well in the Conference League. So
yeah. Do you see Chelsea and Fiorentina? Because Fiorentina have lost this tournament back to back, and Fiorentina did get kind of out briefly, but Chelsea, they had the it was it's a stubborn Copenhagen side who actually did have some good chances on Thursday night, but Chelsea found a way to win through Dewsbury Hall's goal in the 55th minute. Is it between Chelsea and Fiorentina because they're both on opposite sides of the draw? Fiorentina needs to win it because they lost to West Ham in the first edition, and then they lost to Olympiacos last season. Is this a make or break for Fiorentina? They have to win this now.
they do say third time lucky might strike. Uh, I think that is the final for me. Fiorentina and Chelsea. I think they by far are probably the top two sides in that competition for me.
Yeah,
When you deep into everything, and I think it'd be Fiorentina and Chelsea final. Moretta is a I think he's Italian as well, so
yeah.
it's a bit of an Italian battle, that one, because
Yeah,
he'll definitely have noise of Fiorentina
he
as
will.
well.
He will. But the big news is, Chris, the good news is it looks like fifth place for the extra spot in the Champions League is kind of now solidified.
Yeah,
They
sealed.
only need one English team to win in the first leg of the quarterfinals. So, because we know that Roma went out badly against Athletic Bilbao earlier this week as well, losing 3-1 as well 2 days ago. Frankfurt, and Lazio, the only Italian team in the Europa League to get through, along with Fiorentina and Inter Milan, only teams left in the Big Three. But it looks like fifth place is now solidified for Premier League clubs, and also for Spain as well, because the Spanish clubs have done quite well this season as well.
I think it's not a surprise with Spain, is it? Because they always do well in European competitions, thanks to obviously the big dogs Real Madrid and obviously Bilbao and Europa League as well, and Barcelona as well to add to that. And it's good for the Premier League as well because we never know who might get that fifth spot. It's between a few teams, and uh, and you know what? It probably confirms that Forest are in the Champions League as well because
It will do,
I
yeah.
don't see Forest dropping outside the top five.
No, I really don't at the moment. I think they'll be in the top four easy. It's that fifth place. I think it's Chelsea. I think it's going to be hard to play for, especially if you're a Chelsea fan and Newcastle. And we'll talk about the Carabao Cup shortly, Chris. But at the moment, it's hard to play for between fourth down to eighth at the moment. I was saying I think Bournemouth could, that's what they only lost last three out of the 5 games at the moment, but it's still open to play for at the moment because we don't know that extra spot's going to be. So
Yeah, definitely. And I obviously hope as a Utah is Bournemouth and Forest in the top four as well. I've, Newcastle don't have that hooping football, do they, as a distraction, so I would probably make them favourites to get in the top five.
yeah, I do as well. I think Man City will finish above Chelsea at the moment, and I just wait to see because Man City don't have the European spot competition as well as Newcastle. So Yeah, it's going to be an interesting run into the end of the season. Chris, let's finish off in the last couple of minutes on the Carabao Cup final. Your boys Liverpool against Newcastle tomorrow at 4:30. Listen, this is a huge game for both sides, especially Arne Slot could win his first trophy in his first season Liverpool manager, and also Eddie Howe could win his first major league trophy as well at Newcastle as well. How do you go into tomorrow's game?
Um, I'm still confident because PSG, that's a different competition now. That's done with. And it's probably, you never know, a defeat might be a good thing for Liverpool to put them back into focus. Yes, forget about that now. And win Scott's first trophy. And win a potential double at the end of the season as well, which is incredible for his first season. No one predicted us. I'm not saying it's a yes story. I'm not saying that at all. Because of the squad we've got, but everyone wrote Liverpool off, saying they'll fall off after Jordan, and the squad was aging as well, and the injuries on deck to them, all the excuses throughout the whole season, and they're still making the same old narratives as well, saying, now all of a sudden it's boring now, it's a boring season. uh, so uh, it's just because Liverpool top of the year. It's because I think it's because the fan base is unbearable for the big six clubs. That's why there's a bit of Chelsea there. But I just said no. That who cares? Who cares? That's their opinion. Liverpool have had injuries this season. They have Alisson, Kanate, Solosai, Dapo, Jones. I'm trying to think off the top of my head. Shota as well. So everyone has injuries. But going into this final, it's Liverpool's favourite competition, isn't it? In recent times, we've won it twice in 2 years. In a couple of years, 2022 was the double, the cup double, of course, and last year, Jurgen's final season, where we did have injuries and we won it with kids. So uh, at this time, it'd be an interesting final, I see, because if it does extra time, Newcastle will be thinking that will do us. Don't extra time because we went to extra time against PSG and we got burnt out.
Yeah,
And they done me without Anthony Gordon and Lewis Hall as well. Newcastle, which is a big boost for us, but we're done me without Trent Alexander-Arnold, which means right back is going to be quite a difficult one now because both of our right backs are out injured.
yeah,
Dormez out injured as well, who could have played there. So it's going to be one of Kwanzaa or Watawa Endo to be at right back.
mm.
Uh, I I think Endo wouldn't be a bad choice because he's very good at winning duels as well.
Yeah. He is actually. Yeah,
But I think Endo was better coming off the bench to see him out as well. So I think it'd be Kwanzaa who'll play at right back. And to be fair, Kwanzaa did well when he came on against PSG.
yeah, yeah. No, I 100% agree with that, Chris, as well. What's your prediction for tomorrow? What's the good the scoreline going to be?
It's always a good luck charm when Terra's in goal as well. Terra has a 100% record when he's in the cup final as well.
Yeah,
I'm not saying we don't win the cup final because of that, but he is a cup goalkeeper, Terra. And I think we will win it in the 90 minutes. I think I'll do 2-0 in Liverpool. And I think Virgil van Dijk will score then in the final.
yeah.
He just knows that it's it's for the big players as well. Van Dijk did it last season. It wouldn't surprise me if it's like the second goal for Van Dijk to make it 2-0 to finish like the game off.
Yeah, yeah. No, it would be interesting in that if they finish that game off in that if he scores tomorrow as well. Um, Chris, before you go, can I get your opinion on Man United's new proposed 100,000 seat stadium? Please, just give me your reaction.
I think that I think the more important thing, they should be getting better players first.
That's why I was thinking. This is more like a bloody circus tent. This is, I know the three arches is supposed to be replicate on the Manchester United's logo, but it looks like a bloody circus tent.
Which describes them very well, isn't it? So they are circus. So it maybe suits them well. There's a bunch of clowns on the pitch for Manchester United as well. So, but did they really need a new stadium? I know people banter it saying, singing the chant, all top has fallen down, etc. You don't need to bloody fix it. And the old still Manchester United fans, they're definitely not happy with this at all.
No, I know. I have seen a few that, especially because I know that because they got the railway line, they can't expand the stadium because there's a
Yeah,
railway line behind it. But you could have found other ways, either do what Spurs did, just Spurs like
play in a temporary stadium because Spurs used to
that's gonna
play
be a
at
difficult
Wembley,
point.
didn't they?
Yeah, where Man United going to play the temp? Where are they going to play? They can't play at Etihad. That's going to cause havoc. They can't play at Anfield. So
Maybe play at Salford.
that's true.
Because
Or
Darren
Bolton.
Neville's
Yeah, yeah,
Darren Neville, the president at Manchester, he used to get involved
yeah. That's
all the time. So, but yeah, Darren Neville. I think Darren Neville did the voiceover as well for that
yeah. He did.
stadium.
I did see him.
Oh
I
my
know.
days! Oh my days!
Ugh, I did
But
see it. It was just
complete hypocrite, Darren Neville, because he contradicts himself. So what is what it is. I didn't think they needed a new stadium. I know. Yeah. I know. I said before we all banter like with the rain and all
yeah.
that.
Could Man United do what Spurs did? Just rotate this when Spurs built their new stadium, they rotated it around to that's
Yeah.
one really the only option I could think of. But I don't think they just Man United didn't see a situation, and this is what happens when you have the Glazers. And I did watch the interview with Jim Ratcliffe the other day, who looked a bit pressure when he's cutting funding for players who have been there, who were at the company in the 50s, 60s, to help them with funeral costs. You're telling me you couldn't that that's not good business at all.
I had my doubts about Tim Wackett from the start. When everyone was saying, "Did he? Oh, this is gonna be our saviour. This is gonna be our hero." I've already seen in my F1 shareholder at Mercedes. Look at
Yeah, I know. I agree as well. Our team at Mercedes is just a mess, isn't it, mate? Bloody hell.
for instance, he's became a shareholder, and all of a sudden Mercedes have fell off.
Yeah,
Well, obviously, that's obviously different conversation in terms of Mercedes.
it is. But
We
both
don't know
agree.
if
Yeah,
Mercedes
we
will be
both agree.
back
He's
next
fucked up
year.
Mercedes. He's fucked up Mercedes since he bought the shareholders, so we can agree on that one.
And that was I did Manchester United fans a prime sample of that, but no, they didn't want to listen. And I did say Jim Wackett, he'll be best mates with the Chiesas for me because
Yeah,
why would the Chiesas get him in if they still want to keep hold of the club?
I
So.
know.
So yeah, they're a mess, Manchester United. They will be a mess, maybe for the next few years at least.
Yeah.
And yeah, I think you need to put that Wayne Disc quote up where he says, "We will never offside the Buffalo." Yeah, yeah, that's done well, isn't it? That's done well because if they're not careful, Manchester United could do 30+ years, and
Oh
and
yeah.
so be careful what you say. Wayne did well. That's Wayne did. So yes, to see that there in terms of Wayne did in terms of his background.
Chris, you've made me as always. Thank you. Are you going to the game today against Wimbledon today?
Oh no, not a chance because I have standards. I've never been for a while because I have standards for Carabao United. We have a League One budget. I don't want to go on and on and on.
Hey,
because
at least you're not like Huddersfield, right? And I've been looking at Huddersfield thinking, what the hell's been going on in that club? At least you're better run than Huddersfield, not gonna lie.
yeah, that have been as bad as each other. Because
Yeah,
since
that's
since the year since this ownership came in, it will potentially be back to back relegations after the time in League One, and the previous owners we absolutely hated and we got promoted under them.
mm,
Funny that, isn't it?
yeah.
So yeah, I haven't been for a while, to be fair. So because I have standards, I wasn't. It's not acceptable what I was watching under Mike Williamson and Paul Simpson's final games as well. Mark Hughes doing the best he can, trying to make us difficult to beat in every game. We couldn't. Well, I wasn't saying we couldn't finish a W word, so I would say like that because they can't. Let's be real. The strikers were got the tons stop proper movements. So and yeah, I'm gonna do a keep sell these on my channel as well. So that's gonna be fun, isn't it?
No,
33, 30,
that's gonna be
33,
interesting.
33 players. How many players to keep out of the 33? Yeah, I'm gonna struggle.
No, fair enough, Chris. At least you got your standards. At least,
Hope he will stay up, but I doubt it
hey,
personally.
Chris, the best thing that's worked for me since after I watched Leeds against Pompey, I've stopped watching Leeds games on TV because I feel like I'm cursed with them. So I kind of stayed away from watching Leeds games if we were live because we so bad when we play early kickoffs like we did last week, or we played against QPR just right now. It's just kicked off, so I'm not going to watch the game until
So
after.
that's gonna be a curse then, isn't it?
Yeah. So I'm avoiding that. You know, we got the win because of Burnley and Sheffield United drew this past week in the midweek. I'm going to try and do a whole month of watching Leeds live just for to see how it goes.
And a lot of people are saying now, oh, all of a sudden Leeds are now starting to show twats again like last season, and well, I still think it's going to be Leeds, Sheffield United, Burnley to all go up this few doors up by what that I can turn to automatics and playoffs for me.
Yeah. No, fair enough. Chris, it's always a pleasure. Thank you very much. I hope I'll see you next week. Hopefully, Doug's back on next week, but we'll see you in the chats next week.
Yep, yeah. See you next week. I'll try and come on next week. Obviously, we can't predict the future, so
No, no, absolutely not. Chris, take care of yourself.
yeah. Take care. Thanks for having me on.
Thank you. Thank you for Chris Welsh for joining us as joining me as well. And that is the end of the show. I am done for the day. I should be hopefully on tomorrow night, hopefully, to put in Lee's result if they do beat. Well, I'm not going to say much, but I should be on tomorrow night with Annie and the boys and the guys later on at 8 o'clock here on the Total League Home Football Podcast. Please like and subscribe, share, and hit this notification bell with the channel for any upcoming content as well. I've also rejigged our page here on YouTube, and I have set up the podcast side of things here again, so you can listen to us while you're on the go. And also, I have put some other content creators in the homepage to follow as well, such as Chris from LITD, Michael Barras himself, Doug as well, and a few others as well. So please follow them. But that's me done for the day. Hopefully, you guys have a good weekend. If you're watching the Six Nations Rugby, hopefully, you have a good week. So it's Saturday as well. But that is all I've got time for. And we'll see you guys at the same time next week. Take care for now. Bye bye.